in trouble now. Oh boy, Chloe Flower. I don't even know what to say. Chloe Flower, you unfortunately are on Chance TV. I don't know how it happened. I don't know who made. You must have lost a bet or something, but you're here now. So let's make this work somehow. I got some cool stuff to say. First,
Okay.
how are you doing? How are you doing with this whole zombie epidemic apocalypse?
Someone in an interview last week asked me what I would be doing like the next day after like the quarantine gets lifted. And I was like, I would probably be doing exactly the same thing. I'm a homebody, so like, and I've been working. I'm a pianist. It's a solitary instrument, so like I've been working from home my whole life. So I'll probably I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm like living my best life over here.
As long as there's stuff on Netflix and
Yep.
and candy and cookies, I'm pretty good. This is
Yeah,
not
me too.
I have you here. I got a dog. I'm all right. All right. You're funny. I like this. Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple things.
Okay.
You're a superstar. You're the fiercest pianist. You're a steady philanthropist raising awareness about human trafficking. We'll get into that later. You're a, not my words, bad bitch. And Chloe Flower stole the show at the Grammys. Now that's pretty impressive and nearly impossible given Cardi B is Cardi B.
Yeah, amazing.
So let's just take it back a little bit. When did Miss Chloe first tickle the ivories?
I started, my mother actually told me, corrected me from a previous interview. And I started piano at 2, and I did my first concert at 3.5 at a nursing home. So I was always promoting music therapy and music education since I was 3, I can say.
Really?
I was 3.5, sitting on a telephone book.
I'm finger painting and wearing diapers and trying to walk, and you're entertaining the troops. Okay, that is amazing. When you first started playing, was it a feeling of, at that age, it's hard to say, but I'm meant to do this? This is something, not just talent, but that you had a passion for it?
Definitely. I don't think that there was never a question of what I was going to do when I grew up. And I happened to be lucky to have the parents who gave me all of the necessary tools to be able to pursue a dream, whether or not it was lucrative financially. So I don't think that there's anything else on the planet I could do for like 12 hours a day and be fine with it. Like, and often like yesterday, I worked until like really late. Like I worked longer than 12 hours. So, and today too, probably. So I don't think there's anything else I could do for that long without like wanting to, cry.
Yeah, I don't see you working in a corporate office or being a lawyer or, sifting through papers and stuff and at a computer. I think one of the things you can tell is when someone's a true musician, every note is coursing through their body, and you can see the way they pull their hands off the piano and they're shaking and moving like violinists. And I just had Kid Rock's guitarist on the other day, and Keith Richards said he's the best rock guitarist on the scene today. That's Keith Richards saying it. And he played for us for an hour. He did a concert for an hour. He, like you, there's that thing where you know that it's part of them. It's just part of them. So that's great that you found your talent and your parents were fully supportive. With the amount of practice you were doing, a lot of times, like in this case, you're like an Olympic athlete, except you don't have the parallel bars, you have the piano. How did you have a childhood and teenage years with the amount of practice?
I didn't really have a typical, I guess you would say like a typical American childhood or teenagers, because I started preparatory school here in New York when I was 12. So I was really young. So I was already commuting from Pennsylvania to New York twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. So I don't really feel like I missed out, because I think when you're doing something that I mean, I was just like lucky to know what I wanted to do. And so when you know what you want to do and you're passionate about it, like you don't really I didn't necessarily want to spend my Saturdays like going to the mall or going to the local gas station to tip cows, which was like an actual thing that people did on Saturday afternoons. I would have rather been in New York and taking piano lessons. So I don't think that I felt like I missed out, but I think, I missed out on some stuff. Cow tipping.
Cow tipping, yes. When I found out that was real, I couldn't believe it. They're like, no, that's real. They're sleeping.
It's real. It's real.
You tip a cow? You ever tip one?
I've never tipped one. I was too busy practicing. And I love cows.
Fingers. I know. I would feel so badly. You tip a cow.
Yeah, it feels mean.
What kind of sicko does that?
Exactly.
Oh my God. Okay. So dating, when you were dating, obviously someone would want a lot of attention from you because guys are needy, girls are needy, everybody's basically needy. And then you're like, I can see you 10 days from Friday at 9 to 9:30. I mean, I imagine that's what it's like penciling in your.
Yeah. I didn't date until after I went to college. So, like I've only had a few boyfriends. I can remember them all, and they were like long. I'm like more of a relationship person. But yeah, it was hard. Like one time I was in a Celine Dion session, and like my ex was like, "Come on, let's go," and I was like, "It's literally Celine Dion. Like you need to calm down."
Yeah,
but like so there's times when it's like hard, but like you just go with it. It's not. It's like like anyone else. Like a lot of people work long hours, so.
Right, they do, and you have to put up with it. I mean, I would have been like, "We're with Celine Dion. I'm sleeping over. I'm staying here all night."
Like
this
Celine.
Is cool. Yeah, it's Celine. So if I asked any of your ex-boyfriends, since you kind of brought it up, what would be your best quality, and what would be something you don't miss because maybe you're stubborn or you have 10 personalities in there? Give me some honest stuff, Miss Flower.
I have to tell you, I have to be honest about myself right now. I am very, very easygoing. Like I am so easygoing. That's one thing. Like I never, like for instance, I have a boyfriend right now. He's been with me. We've only left the apartment 7 or 8 times since the first week of March. We live in New York City, and we've never, knock on wood, we haven't fought yet. So like,
really, he's not in a closet, someone, or in a bathtub, like bleeding out. Whoa.
No, like we don't like. It's just like he's also easygoing, so I think like that's a positive quality, right? Like I never nag. I'm very easygoing. And I would say like a negative quality would be like I'm like when I'm changing my clothes, I'm like my closet is like a disaster. It looks like Chernobyl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you getting ready maybe to come out is what you're saying? Like
I'm not good. I'm not good at cleaning. Like,
I'm
really bad at cleaning. We haven't had a cleaning lady in 3 months, so I've been like, I'm spoiled. I can be spoiled.
Okay, so you can be spoiled. All right. Yeah. How about getting dressed to go out? If you're getting dressed to go out, is it not to an event, but just is it a challenge and it's hair up, hair down, this, pumps, flats? Skirt, pants.
It's always like I try on 17 different things, and then I'll like I mean it's always a challenge trying on clothes. It's fun. It's also fun though. It's fun. So like I feel like I like trying on clothes. I like picking outfits. So like I take my time. But I don't take a long time to get ready. I don't.
Oh really? Okay. No. So he should enjoy it. It's a show. It's a show with his beautiful love, putting on different outfits, and he should be honored to be there. And tell him if he doesn't like it, 10,000 other people will replace him. So
exactly.
Have you ever had an awkward phase? Because we know what you look like now, and it's good. Did you ever look kind of funny at like 12 or 13?
I feel like I'm in my totally. I was like I did like a little baby modeling. I was really cute when I was little, and then like I think like I have like big Asian cheeks. Like I've never had plastic surgery before. I've never had Botox or filler or anything. And I've always wanted to like see what my face would look like if my cheeks weren't so like chubby. But
first of all, right now you have high cheekbones and I have a high def camera, so I don't want to hear that you have chubby cheeks. People pay for those cheeks.
Chubby cheeks. So
people go to Miami and Tijuana to get those. They buy those cheeks. You're lucky. You don't know what you're talking about.
You're too nice.
I'm being honest. Okay, so you had the weird period. Obviously, you baby modeled, and then the weird period came, and then it went away, right?
I mean, yeah, it was like, when you're like 12. Well, actually, I don't know if I had a weird period, but there was like a time where I only wore like a certain style of clothing. Like I only wore like heather gray and khaki and like neutral colors. And so that's like, I went through this whole anti-Liberace phase for like 4 years. Like I never wore jeans. Yeah.
Oh, ultra bland, just totally bland.
So
Sand.
bland, like, yeah,
That
totally.
is so opposite of you. I mean,
Yeah.
you're creative, you're inventive, you're outgoing. That's okay. Whatever. Therapy works, obviously. All right, let's do the Liberace thing.
Yeah.
You remind me of him because the way he played and the joy and the passion and the movement, and then I see you on the mirrored piano, and I said, she belongs there. She belongs there. How did that happen?
I always say that like I don't do drugs and I don't really party, but I definitely don't do drugs. And there was a an event in Las Vegas that I was invited to, and I was told it was going to be a yoga retreat, like a very healthy, like spiritual thing. And I thought, oh, this will be nice, like to go with my friend. I brought a friend with me, and she and I were like planning on doing yoga, drinking green juices, like getting desert sun and like taking a break from the studio. When I got there, it was like Burning Man meets Coachella meets like
Oh,
EDM rave fest, and like I was like, oh, this is not. I can't stay here. Like this is not it for me. I didn't. I don't. I was like, I'm not even drinking. Like there's no point. And they were like, oh no, everyone's partying. You can do mushrooms all night. And like I was just like, I don't even do mushrooms. So like I got my Uber hadn't even driven away. It was still I could see its headlights in the dirt road. I called
you
it back.
chased it.
Thank God I had service. I called my Uber. It reversed back to me because it was like a dirt road. I got in. My friend and I got in. We went straight to the strip. We got a room at the Bellagio. And I was like, I'm going to make sure that this trip is worth it. So, like, while I was there, I had my friend who I knew, he and his wife lived in Vegas, my friend Rut. And he drove me to the Liberace Museum, but it was closed. It had gone out of business. So I went onto their website, the Liberace Foundation website, and I just wrote like a little email. And I was like, uh, I'm in Vegas. I think Liberace might be from here. I'm not sure, but if he is, like, I'd love to see where is there a museum, whatever. Anyways, the guy, the Jonathan Warren, who's the president of the foundation, he was like, no one ever emailed us. And so he's like, no
They're
one's
all
ever
sitting
used
around
this
the
comment form
computer.
before. Like, no one's ever used this comment form before. So he wrote me back right away, and we met the next day, and that's how the relationship started. I met him on the way to the airport. Yeah. So
That's incredible. I think
yeah.
Liberace would love that because to have something that's such a prized possession, it's kind of like, that whole passing the torch, like a father gives the son the watch and this person is, a famous baseball player and he gives the bat to whatever. And you having that, that's great because,
It's an
I mean,
honor.
maybe somebody who's ultra technical and plays, you need the flair. And that's,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone who has that, yeah. And obviously, we have to bring up. I mean, you're there playing so well that like people say you eclipsed Cardi B. That's a quote. But together, that must have been. How was that as an experience for you? Because you've done so much and you've been so many places and you've got all the accolades and nonsense. But that's kind of a wild. Because I went to the Grammys a couple of times to cover it, and even I was like, wow, like Adele came out and she just started singing and I went, oh, like it just
Amazing.
ate me up because I just, and no warm up, nothing, walked right up the stage and sat down and nailed it. And so you being on the other side, I'm the spectator. What's happening? Or was it like a wedding that you didn't even know it happened because you were so part of it?
I was so nervous. I thought I was going to die. I had never been on live television. I had never performed that way before. As a pianist, you have to understand that, like, since we're born, we're trained as classical musicians to not acknowledge the audience. So all of a sudden, when
I didn't know
like when
that.
people, yeah, we're trained to, because it's like golf. It's such a mind game. Being a pianist, you're not even facing the audience; they're over there. So, or over here, whichever side you're on. And my teachers would always say, just pretend like they're not there when the lights go out. It's just you. The lights go out in the audience. No engagement, right? And this is how I've worked my entire career. And then all of a sudden you're, at the Grammys, and it's like you're supposed to engage with the audience. And
All
then on
engagement. It's a
yeah, it
hundred
was
percent engagement.
really, it was like learning a new instrument. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was like, well, how am I supposed to I'm supposed to like look out at the audience, like for real? And then during the sound check, the Grammy sound check on Friday, the Friday before the Grammys, the cameraman was like, you know, in my face, but like not for long, not as long as it was live. It was different in the rehearsal.
Oh.
And so he was there, and I remember asking Tanisha Scott, the creative director for Cardi. She's done all of like Cardi's projects, Beyonce. She's amazing. And I asked her, I was like, you know, the cameraman was like really close in my face for a minute there, and it like, what am I supposed to do? It's live television. Like, am I supposed to look at him? Am I supposed to pretend he's there and not know he's there? She's like, yeah, if you just feel it, if you feel it, if he's there and you feel good, look at him. If not, don't look at him. She's like, you have to be authentic. Whatever you do, just do it how you feel. And that was the only direction I got. Like, I was like, that's like, I was like, okay, but that was the greatest advice, right? Because it wasn't choreographed, which I think is why it resonated, because it was just like, it just happened, you know?
Right.
So.
And audiences, even the most basic person in Minnesota, they know and can feel when it's orchestrated and when it's natural. Yeah. Everybody has that stomach sense that says, oh, wow, this is just really happening. This is real. Yeah. So you were just thrown into, hey, Chloe, you're going to do the Grammys on TV. Yeah. It's kind of on for the whole country, and you got to be Liberace. Just be like Liberace. Just play and dance and perform for the crowd.
The Liberace piano didn't happen until the day before. Like,
oh,
Thursday.
No.
Yeah, we weren't going to use the Liberace piano. We were supposed to use a Black Steinway. And it just so happened that one of the creative director's assistants was in Vegas. And I was like, oh, while you're in Vegas, you should check out Liberace has a crystal piano there that could look kind of cool on stage, but like it's going to cost, you know, a lot of money to ship it. And it's also got to be here like by tomorrow. And it has to be proofed. Like, it has to be structurally changed so that Cardi can twerk on it and dance on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they did all that in like a couple of days. It was crazy.
My friends who do stuff like, one of them, she does like the Super Bowl for Bud Light and that kind of crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. They're starting that 16 to 20 months before.
Yeah.
So it's even before, like you're seeing a Super Bowl, they're already working on the next one for 6 months prior, and you're pulling out Liberace piano. Yeah. Insurance, shipping, and then structurally for Cardi to do her thing. Wow. Yeah. I like that backstory stuff. I love that. Okay. So you kind of got discovered. There's some guy, Babyface. Some people have heard of him. And then all of a sudden he heard of you. What was that like?
Amazing. I mean, he's so, he works harder than me. You know, he is at a point in his life, I think, like where he could just like relax and retire and take like some time off. And he, every day we'd be at the studio, he would be there, you know, sometimes before me, sometimes he'd leave after me, but he was there every Monday through Friday from like anywhere between 8 to 10 a.m. until like 1 o'clock in the morning working. Yeah. That's
serious, because I've interviewed some people where they kind of check in and they even will have like the FaceTime. They'll have an assistant in the studio and they'll FaceTime you. And I'm thinking, that's a degree of separation that I just don't think. You have to be there. I don't know how to do that stuff, but I know that you have to be there to do anything right. Wow.
Yeah, he's just always working. Like, we're always just, you know, we work hard. So I think that's why I stayed with him for so long. Like, he really believed in me, but also like he saw that I was willing to like work hard. And I've been with him for 10 years now, 9 years. So yeah, so we really like know each other.
So he saw that the talent and then the unstoppable tenacity that's like whatever it takes.
And I think he like liked the idea of a new genre of doing something new, you know, like there is classical crossover out there. It does exist. But it's a lot of just like classical music on top of a beat, of any EDM beat or an electronic beat. Usually it's never really trap or hip hop. But for me, I explained to him, I said that the drums are going to be an element that are not just going to be like regular classical crossover. Every drum, every snare, every hat, every sound is like, to me, like an instrument in an orchestra, and it has to be curated that way. And so it was like we did like a lot of like we had a lot of musical chemistry in terms of just what we wanted to do with the sound and create something new. So I think that was exciting for him too.
I think it was finding like a treasure chest, because like you said, the crossover, it really hasn't happened before. It didn't, you know, laying a beat over something. I lay beats over stuff in the shower. I'm not crossover.
Have you heard
it?
What? Have you heard classical crossover before?
Yours, no. But I mean, yours, yes. Before, no. I didn't even know it existed. No, you guys did it. You and Babyface definitely did that. I think what's amazing is like the guy I just interviewed, that's why it's still in my mind, the guy from Kid Rock, plays everything. He's jammed with Shaka Khan. He's been with the biggest blues players there are. He jammed with Run DMC. So when you have someone who has truly a talent at an instrument and is open to it, they go any direction. Because I mean, then you got the Nas thing. Tell me about that. And then I want to talk about Celine Dion. I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah, Nas is the best. I love Nas. I just saw him at a restaurant before quarantine. He was so amazing. I was introduced to him by amazing producer Swiss Beats, who saw me.
He's amazing.
So I was performing.
So nice.
Yeah, he's great. Such a nice guy. I was at some Saudi prince, I think, like had a birthday party and asked me to perform many years ago before I met Kenny, or maybe it was like around that time. I can't remember. And it was after I met Kenny, so it was around that time though. And Swiss was DJing, and then afterwards he was like, you know, there's a few months later, that he was like, there's a project I'm doing, a Nas's album, Life is Good, I think. And he asked me if I wanted to do pianos on them. So I went to the studio. I didn't know what I was going to do. I hadn't really heard the song yet. So I just got there, and Nas came into the studio. He had a suit in his hand, and he was like, I have to go to Abe and Arthur's for dinner. I'm going to be back in 3 hours. When I come back, like, I'll listen to what you've done. So I was like, and so I
no pressure.
I did this whole like classical. I used a Chopin Revolutionary Etude, and I just played under the beat. And when he got back, he like gave me a standing ovation, because he was like, I really thought, like, based on how you look, I thought you were gonna play something really pretty. Like, he's like, I didn't think it was gonna be hard.
You got dirty. Yeah.
So like I went hard, you know. So I was like, oh, okay, great. So he used it, and then he ended up taking out all the drum under it and just rapped over my piano only. Yeah. So at the end of the song, there's like a minute and a half of just like piano and Nas. So cool.
That's really an honor.
Yeah,
wow.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool.
But that's such high pressure. I mean, I say this every time I'm with someone that has talent like you. You're put in a room and they say, okay, be creative and make it amazing, and I'm coming back. I don't know how. I mean, obviously people have different things. Some people are, you know, can, play violin. Some people can paint. You can just say, this sounds good with this, and then have, you know, a guy like Nas approve it. That's talent.
It's experience.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I know a lot of experienced people. That doesn't happen like that. Okay. What do you want to hit first? Do you want to hit Timberland, or do you want to do Celine Dion?
Timberland, I love. I did some stuff with Timberland. I've been talking to him about doing another project together. So we've been exchanging music. He's a great producer. I love him. We did some stuff together for his solo record. And then Celine, we did a lullaby song, and I just kind of submitted myself for that track. You know, we had 3 different pianists submitted, 3 like known session piano, 2 other known session producers, and she just listened to them blind, and she went with mine, and it was
nice.
Produced by Kenny. That was an opportunity again brought to me by Babyface.
Babyface, you're doing it. You got the right one here. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
What is this? This I researched, but I couldn't figure it out. Make Our Mark Global Levi's campaign. First of all, that sounds big. Chloe, that's big.
That was crazy. That was like a huge campaign done by Len Peltier. He's an amazing creative director. And it was like a railroad station called Station to Station, and they went from all the different cities around the world. And it's kind of like a mixture of like fashion, but with also nonprofit. So they picked a bunch of musicians and artists, and not just artists. Like, I think all sorts of people were chosen who have a passion, and so outside of music, which was human trafficking, anti-human trafficking. And so they chose me, and I was like on this huge billboard. I didn't like my picture, so I like never posted it.
Oh no.
And I never even took a picture of the billboard, but like, but it's out there somewhere. Yeah,
I would have had it on my. I would have had it on my ceiling above my bed, no matter how bad.
Yeah, it was like,
come to my front door. It's a picture of me. Oh,
it was like, it was really well done. I just didn't like love my like whole, I just didn't love it. You know, I just have to be honest. So.
Wow, I'm sure you look at. Can we pause for one second? I'm gonna just pause the camera, just 1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I'll be right back.
Okay.
So sorry. The guy before me is kind of like a world-class, before you, I interviewed a world-class hypnotist, and he had me drinking all different things and doing crazy stuff. And I did use the little boys' room before the interview, but anyway, that's not important. Let me get back. Cameras on. We're still doing it. You're very sweet, and thank you for doing that. All right. So you didn't like the poster. That was all over the world. There'll be another one. Next time you get final say. All right. Your career, it's huge, but you're just warming up. Now, the Annalyn McCord thing, I interviewed her, and I really liked her, and she was really sweet. How did that happen? We actually gave her a purse.
That's one of my best friends in the whole world. She stays with me when she comes to New York, in fact. She was just here right before quarantine. She was one of the last people I saw before quarantine in February. In March, that first week of March. She and I met at the Newark Peace Summit. I was there with Deepak Chopra, and we're doing a project together. And he had asked me to come to the Newark Peace Summit for a couple of meetings and to talk about, to meet with people about human trafficking and music therapy and music education. She was there. And so I remember I met her at a restaurant, one of the anti-human trafficking organizations I worked with, Somali Mom and Bill Livermore. She's like a sister to me, Somali Mom. Really at the forefront of human trafficking in terms of just building awareness in the United States. She was like the first. And she was with them. And so they introduced me to her, and we were best friends ever since, like literally best friends. Wow. I love her. She does so much work, very authentic. All she can. In fact, sometimes I tell her, I'm like, you need to care about yourself a little bit too, because she always puts everyone before her. So she's great girl.
After this is done, I want to introduce you to a friend who does the same thing. She's really on the front line to the level where the FBI comes and tells her there's a death threat on you. Like, that's the level she's working at. Yeah, she's the real thing. She's great, and you two are great. And Somali Mom, I think we submitted a little picture to your PR people that I got to interview her. She was amazing. It was crazy. She came to New York, and she was doing a big fundraiser, and she was interviewed by like Dr. Phil, Tyra, Oprah, I forget the fourth, and me. And I even said to the PR people, I said, what am I doing here? Because I interviewed her in her hotel room. There was no studio or nothing. And they said, we like the interviews you do because we know you'll get the real Somali Mom. Because although she has all those amazing talking points, I was almost crying. She was practically crying. I mean, it was so powerful. It was so amazing. And I said, well, we got lucky because we nailed it. And she is so amazing. So we'll talk about her later. So I want to promote that whole thing of what can be done. All right. This is crazy. Netflix, unbelievable. Walt Disney Hall debut, sold out. Cardi B. How was things like when you were practicing with Cardi B, like rehearsal and stuff like that? Is she Cardi B or is she...
No, I don't know Cardi B. I literally couldn't believe it. She never talked louder than this. It was a whisper all the time. For 2 weeks, we had rehearsals for 10 days, I think, or maybe 2 weeks. I can't remember. But she was so quiet and so shy, really shy. But let me tell you something. That girl, she was involved like 150% of everything. She was like not just there to perform. And we would have rehearsals starting at 2 o'clock in the morning. She had just had a baby, like she was nursing, like she worked so hard and she was so serious. And also she was so empowering. I have never in my life met an artist that was so gracious and empowering of other artists. Like I showed up like ready to do a job, you know, like not talking to anyone. I'm just there doing my job. And she was like, I want Chloe to have another solo. I want her to have her moment in music. I want her to dress differently. I want her to look more couture. She needs to stand out more. Her initially, my other outfits, she was like, it blends it with the piano. She's not going to stand out. She needs to have a moment in fashion too. This has to be big. Like she was so supportive, like as if she was like my friend, you know. And I just hadn't experienced. She was so amazing, and I just I didn't expect it because I hadn't seen it before. You know, it's a competitive industry, but also this is her first Grammys. And so I just didn't expect her. Already my piano was in the middle, like already, you know, and so I thought that was crazy in itself. But the fact that she wanted me to look, she was willing to spend the money for me to look couture, and she spent the money to have the piano look couture, to bring in Liberace's piano. So that was like, you know, I felt like it was inspiring for me. Like I hope that I could do that for somebody, you know, later.
Wow. I love to hear something like that, because I hear different things, obviously, and sometimes they're put out there just to get attention and keep the person's name in circulation. But I did not expect that of her, not because of her, but because of anybody. I never expect that of anybody. When you have that graciousness of, no, Chloe she and I are doing this. Make Chloe a star. That's great.
And then afterwards, like, you know, after an hour after the Grammys, I had my headphones in the whole time. I couldn't hear the audience at all. So I had no idea what was happening. I remember I came off stage and I was like, was that okay? And like, I didn't talk to Cardi. She had to get changed to go back out to the audience. I was just sitting, like, I didn't get any Instagram hits. So I was just like, oh, it was a great experience. I wasn't looking at Twitter. So like, I didn't even know that I had blown up. But afterwards, her label called me and they were like, Cardi wants you to come to dinner with her after the Grammys. Can you come? So I stopped by her dinner, and afterwards, she hugged me and she was screaming and she was like, "You're blowing up on Twitter. I'm so happy," and like was jumping up and down, like hugging me. She was like, "Everyone said you stole the show." I was like, "You're so happy."
That's unbelievable. I mean,
like so nice, right?
It speaks to her confidence of who she is, that she can be so happy for you, getting so much attention, and then to genuinely be happy for you.
Yeah.
I love her already now that I'm hearing this.
I know. I really wasn't expecting it. I thought she was going to be mad afterwards.
What's that?
I thought she was going to be mad after that, like after hearing like Chloe stole the show.
Run her out of town. Get her out of town. I never want to see her and her beautiful hair and face. Get the big cheek lady out of here. She's gone.
She was so nice and happy.
I was an extra on the movie You've Got Mail. I tried acting. It didn't work, Chloe. It didn't work. Not at all. But I'll tell you what.
You didn't have that mentor.
I didn't have that talent. Forget the mentor. That was the last thing. But Meg Ryan, this is alleged, I have to say alleged, told the casting person who was doing the extras she didn't even want one single blonde extra in the movie. She wanted to literally be the only blonde person in an hour and 20-minute movie. Like, talk about, it's all about me, me, me.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
You get that a lot in the industry. You know, I see it a lot, so.
Someone I spoke to, they were the like right-hand person for this major star. She had them contact Beverly Hills, whatever town hall. She wanted the stoplights to the studio from her home to be green. She wanted to have them all be staged. So 10 seconds out of the driveway, she gets to this one, and each one would give her a certain amount of time. So she pretty much would never hit a red light going to the studio. Talk about, you can't do that. I mean, they could probably try to stage it, but it's not the president, you know, you don't have the Pope coming, but this is the level of I'm so important. Mental patience. All right, back to you.
So crazy.
Chopra's amazing. I interviewed him and he said, I'm not Chopra, I'm DJ something. I'd have to see the thing, but he goes, I'm DJ Cool Boy. And I said, I love this guy.
He makes me call him Deep Stir. He's like, my name is Deep Stir. Deep Stir.
Deep Stir?
Deep Stir.
See, I got DJ somebody and you got Deep Stir. That's amazing. All right, let me see what else there's. So many big things. the energy, the so honor, all right, the Liberace Museum. There's so much stuff about you. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. You have a style. This is not from really the questions or something like that. How did you come to your style?
I have been in fashion since I was born. My mother is super, super chic. And in fact, my name and my sister's name is Jenny, but my mom named us both after French designers, Jenny with a G and Chloe, obviously. And she, like I always joke that like my first book was like W Magazine or Harper's Bazaar. Like I was reading, like reading those magazines and watching fashion like since I can remember. And so I just always loved it. I think for me as an instrumentalist that doesn't have lyrics in my music, I think it's important for me to use fashion in a way that I can like express my personality. Also, like maybe even the song, like I did this Meek Mill cover once and I wore like leather pants, like lace up leather pants, because it was like Meek Mill. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I get it, but it's just that you did it is what I'm smiling about. That's awesome.
Like it's like, so yeah, I think that's a form of expression.
So you're sometimes I ask this when someone's an actor and also a director or a musician who is an actor. I say, are you an actor who plays music, or are you a musician who happens to act? You're a musician, but you do have that whole. There's a Chloe dimension that's now separated from the piano. I think you understand the whole thing. You've become an entity in and of yourself, not just your talent behind the piano. There's some people who are like, oh, I play a Stradivarius, and they go, oh, he's amazing, go see him at the whatever. But you're becoming a celebrity. Well, actually, you are. You're a celebrity. You're an entity. You're an influencer now. People care about what you dress, what you wear, and how you do your hair and stuff. Have you ever had a mohawk or done pink hair or anything crazy?
What was the question?
Have you ever had like a mohawk or done pink hair or anything crazy with the hair?
No, but you know what? When I went to go visit one of the centers with Somali in Cambodia, I went with Estee Lauder was there, and Bubble came, and they opened a hair salon for survivors of human trafficking. And when I was there, I was the first customer, and my hair is really long, you know.
Yeah, that's important.
It was long like this, and I was their first customer, and I had it in a ponytail, and I was like, yeah, I don't like my hair. And they just cut off my whole ponytail. Like it was gone. And my hair was like this short on the side and like this long over here. It was like so hysterical.
That's
I was like
dramatic.
So
that's
that was
like
kind of the
4 or 5
most
years.
dramatic thing. Yeah, I've never dyed my hair. I've never had a perm, but
I hope they donated it. Did they donate it to?
I always donate it. I kept it.
Okay, good.
It always, yeah.
But you didn't see that coming. I mean, they could have given you a little even trim and some layers and stuff, but not, hey, let's bob her. Chloe needs a bob.
Yeah.
Chloe's in the. But Chloe, you're a product, for lack of a better word, in a big industry that revolves around beauty. That's a major thing. I mean, you are in magazines and TV and this and that, and they just wipe the hair out. Did you have any managers or agents when you came back say, what happened to you?
No,
like, Chloe,
you know what? It was fine. It was like I had a short haircut for a while. Like I did a couple carpets, and like, you know, you could see like my hair was like they tried to like, I grew it out for a while. My hair grows really fast, and so like it was like that style. It was like so.
I know what you're talking about. You know what though? Given it was done so well, it probably was a great thing as far as, oh my God, look at her now, look at her now, look at her change. She's so wild. She's a chameleon, whatever.
It was just it was like kind of nice to have short hair, actually. Like
I've heard that, very refreshing when the first shampoo comes and you're like, I'm done already.
It really was. I was like, okay, yep.
Yeah. Is it like a half hour for your hair to dry if you don't do a hair dryer?
Yeah, it takes forever because I have thin hair, but I have a lot of hair. So it looks like I have like huge hair, but it's thin, but it's just a lot. So
that's fine. As long as the quantity's there, you're all set.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
If you ever had somebody to play you in a movie, your life has really just begun, but it's been pretty wild. If you had someone to just come in and play you in a movie, do you have anyone you'd pick?
Yeah, my best friend, Shay Mitchell.
She's incredible. She's amazing. I interviewed her at the Kids' Choice Awards. She's so nice. And she just had the baby.
She's the nicest. Yep, she's the nicest human, as nice in person, like behind, like so down to earth, so cool. I've known her since 2010, and she hasn't changed at all.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. How's the baby doing? Is everything good?
Like, gorgeous.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Like, I don't understand, like, blue eyes. Like, her dad's side, she's half Filipino, half Irish. So her dad's side has blue eyes. And then her boyfriend, Matt, his mom's side has blue eyes. So the baby got blue eyes, even though it's Filipino, Irish, black. She's going to be so beautiful. I mean, she already is.
That did work out. It worked out beautifully. Was there ever a time, no matter how well things go, was there ever a time where you had a little self-doubt and said, I don't know about this. This is way too much. My fingers hurt and I'm tired.
All the time. I mean, like, you know, it's hard. Like, I always say to Kenny Babyface, I always say, I wish I was a singer, because I think that it would be easier to, it's, you know, I spent like the first 9 years before Cardi gave me that opportunity explaining to people like what my music was. You know what I mean? It's like really hard to put into words. I'm like, oh, I want to do instrumental piano with like a trap beat underneath. And they're like, what? And I think that if the Cardi B moment did anything for me, it put like instrumental music on a different page for the world. Like, it was like, that moment was like, I felt like I got like a lot of play for that moment, only playing 2 notes. You know, that song only has 2 notes in the whole song, E flat and E natural. And so that's why I wrote in those solos. But like that moment that went viral, I was literally playing 2 notes over and over again, 4 times. 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 8 times. So like, it's just like, for me, it was like, oh, so now you can see that like a pianist or a violinist or whoever, a harpist, like they can rock with a pop crowd and make some noise and like, and have a career. And so that was like hard for 9 years, just explaining to people like, yeah, what I did.
Yeah, to have it inside and no, well, it's, I mean, like, think Jeff Bezos. I'm selling books out of my garage. No one gets it. Now, it's just man the world. So until, you know, that overnight sensation, it took 20 years for overnight. Okay, you as a role model, and then we'll get to Somali Mom, as a role model to so many, you know, guys, girls, anyone, people who want to play piano and do it the way you do it, or just be a successful woman. How do you feel about that? Is there pressure involved, or, because a lot of people look up to you, especially young girls?
Yeah, I've been working with so many kids for so long. You know, I partner with Music Unites. I did a whole program at Compton Unified. In fact, I just did it again a week ago. And, you know, I've worked with, I've been doing volunteer. I told you my first concert, I was 3.5. So I've been doing volunteer work since I was like basically born, because like my parents always told me that being a musician, you know, given the fact that I have the tools that I needed, I had the piano lessons, I had the piano, I never had to have a job. So my parents were like, you know, you have this gift and this ability. So you know, music is about service. So like whatever you're doing, like even if you're nervous for a concert, if you just have that like mind where you're providing a service, I think it makes you less nervous, but also it just prepares you for like something like being a role model, I guess. I don't know, like I don't do anything bad, you know, it's like, I mean, like I do bad things, but like, not like, you know, I don't have like, it's not hard for me to like not get like photographed wasted on the side of the road. Like,
I checked TMZ. They didn't have anything on you. I called them up. Give me the Chloe stuff. They're like, dude, nothing.
Like, So, I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's an honor, but I think, you know, I think it's very important to make, those are the kind of sacrifices I think that like, I would say I had to make like as an adult, like, you know, when you're like in a position where a lot of young kids follow me, like a lot of like little girls, like little, like my demo is like often under 18. So I think like, you know, you have to be conscious of that all the time, and you can't just be cavalier about what you say and what you do, because you just like never know like where that is going to go. Like you can see that in politics now, you know, the mixed message.
Taken out of context, even an innocent thing, right out of context, all of a sudden you're bad.
Yeah.
This is impressive. Okay, let's get to the thing. Somali Mom, how can we help? How can the viewers be involved? where are we at right now with that?
Somali Mom has been amazing with Annalyn. They started Together One Heart. They did a beautiful charity event, raised a lot of money a couple weeks ago, and they're in Cambodia. The girls are, they're running out of masks, they're running out of alcohol. So Together One Heart, like together with a number one heart spelled out. Their Instagram, they have donation links. I'm also doing a campaign with the United Nations 75th anniversary. So they also have a Blue Heart campaign, the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime, where they donate specifically to anti-human trafficking efforts. And so, there's a lot of different organizations. I think it's important for everyone to just go to the one that they feel the most connected with. It could be Asian, it could be South American, it could be labor trafficking, it could be human sex trafficking, it could be, there's so many different things. So I think like whatever resonates with you is where you should go.
Right. I think Somali Mom blew my mind about how much happens right here in America.
Oh yeah, it's the biggest hub.
Like a Super Bowl in all these places and all these small towns and all these little, massage parlors everywhere. And, they found one in my town. I couldn't even believe it. Right next to the police station where I grew up in New Jersey. Next to the police station. They had to know. It's that simple. So this is really important, and I think the only way it stops is with the public. Just the public has to say.
Definitely. When I first started working with Somali, I started working with her in 2006, and
wow.
Which was it's been a long time. She didn't have the Somali Mom Foundation back then. It was called AFASIP, and back then it was an awareness campaign. It was a lack of awareness. People didn't know about it, but now I think that because everyone knows about it now, I've turned my efforts into more of a prevention campaign through music education, because I think that in order for people to not enter the demand side or the supply side, they have to have dignity, self-esteem, self-worth, community, all of these things that so many, whether they're children or adults, they don't have that. So that's where music education comes in. That's why I started pushing music education so much, because I realized that it's an actual tool of prevention. And I think that is, other than solving poverty, which is the main cause, I can't solve poverty right now. Like, I don't even know, but I can do my part with music education, which is a valid form of prevention. Yeah.
It's a huge part. It's a huge thing. Yeah. I mean, I know people who teach ballet in the slums of Brazil, and it makes a massive difference. So these type of things from the arts, especially from people like you, it's a gift, and it's necessary, and it's life changing.
Yeah,
it's major
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah.
That piano there, does that work?
Oh my gosh,
it works, right?
I'm on my iPad, so I can't show you my computer. FaceTime doesn't work, so I use my iPad. But it's a player piano by Steinway. And it plays itself and it records. So I recorded my whole album during quarantine.
So what you play there gets recorded?
I plug a USB into the side of the piano. The piano's plugged into the wall, and I plug in my USB cord, and then I take it, put it into my computer, and then I have some. A couple of times I sent it to Hamburg. Like last week, we sent a couple tracks to Hamburg for them to record for me in the So they plug my USB or my file. I email them a file. They plug it into a USB. They plug the USB into the piano, the sister piano, and then they re-record it in a concert hall. So it sounds like a concert hall recording. Really cool.
God!
It's a brand new. It just came out in August by Steinway. One of the
technology is some cool stuff. Yeah. But could you just play that right now for 2 seconds? You don't have to have the camera doesn't. Yeah, play us a little bit of the Grammys. Hit some Grammy stuff. Show me those 4 notes. Do that. Do some notes.
I did with I did this on my piano. So that's like the national anthem. So it sounds amazing, right? Like it sounds like a regular piano.
Yeah.
Like it's a regular piano, but if I were to have it hooked up to the iPad, it would record what I just did. And
that's crazy.
You would have like a whole album like I do.
Can you do real quick just a little from the Grammys? Just a little bit from the Grammys for the audience?
Just the
minus the Cardi B from the Grammys, minus Cardi on the piano. Some of those notes.
Those are the only notes, babe. And then I would do like, what did I do?
Oh yeah, do that.
I would do something like, I would do stuff like that just to like mix it up a little. Like I would be, I would do stuff like that, but it was really only those two notes. So I just kind of like improv.
Those little solos on the side. Oh, that's wild.
Solos on the side. Like we did those like right before. That was really crazy.
Incredible.
It happened really fast.
How can people find you, or where do you want them to go to? Just the website and Instagram?
YouTube. I think YouTube. I think for me, like YouTube is like really where I'm gonna be doing stuff. Like I'm thinking about doing some, in this new age, this new world. I was thinking about like doing more. I did piano lessons for quarantine people. I think there's no better time than now to learn how to play an instrument. So I did like 14 days of lessons, all different levels. I did some on the iPad so that you don't have to have a piano or a keyboard. If you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can still learn. So I did like 3 or 4 lessons on an iPad. And then I'll be doing like concerts and like videos and stuff. So my album's still coming. I'm almost done recording, so it's still coming.
How close is the album? I just wanted to ask about that. When can we expect it?
Months. It's going to be a few months, I think. I'm only 1 song away from being done, so not long.
But you're a perfectionist. Is that one song a 2-year period? Is that a Francis Ford Coppola song?
I told Kenny, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be like D'Angelo, like 10 years to do an album. I'm a total perfectionist, but that's why I have to work like 15 hours a day.
Yep. I don't have, if I ever come, I'm in New York, I'm gonna find out where you live, and I'll look with my binoculars and be like, she's been in the bathroom too long. She better get out of the piano right now.
Exactly.
I'll get TMZ to scope it out and be like, you keep track of her. I want 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day.
They can see in here for sure.
Any shout outs? Anyone you want to shout out to? Babyface, Anna Lynn, anybody? Somali Mom?
Everyone I shouted out. My boyfriend, he's been thriving with my loud ass piano music. Sorry, I swore. My loud piano music. And then, all my friends and all the girls in Cambodia. All the girls from Center with Somali. And all my girls and boys at Compton Unified. Love them. So, everybody.
Chloe, you're awesome. I did not expect this. I really didn't. I didn't think you were going to be a horrible, mean person, but your generosity of spirit and heart and who you are and giving back. Your parents, wonderful job. Killer job they did. And it's wonderful that your work of giving back has such talent behind it. So thank you. If you could just say your name.
I'm Chloe Flower.
And you're watching Chance TV?
I'm Chloe Flower, and you're watching Chance TV.
That's right. I'm going to stop the broadcast now. So let me do this. And